Hey, this is Danielle over at DIYDanielle.com, and today I want to show you how I'm going to use some old pieces from flooring. These are actually laminate floors that we installed. This is a scrap piece we had. Can't really reuse it again because it doesn't have, because it was cut. So this is actually a great piece to use. I'm actually going to also make one from the damaged board that we had. It's the whole one. And as you can see, when we purchased the board, we had some in the box that had edges torn off. So we're going to cut the edges off here, and we're going to cut off this lip here that's usually what you would use for locking the laminate floors in place. There's a little bit of a lip on the other side as well I'm going to cut off, and then I'm also going to cut this end so it's even. So the first thing I'm going to do with this side that has the big lip, I can see where I need to make my cuts pretty easy. I just go right along the edge. But on the far ends, I want to actually mark where I'm going to cut. It makes it a lot easier. I'm certainly no woodworker. This is something I've just started to do, so take that at what it's worth, but I'm starting to learn a little. So what I do is I just get something here to make a straight line. I'll show you the other side because it seems to be all right. I use, to mark my wood, I use like the chalk markers. They're not made for, they're made for a chalkboard, but they write really well and they erase really well off stuff like laminate wood or painted wood. So I'm just going to find my edge here and try to make a straight line across. Mark my line. Now, let's see if you can see that. See how nice that line is? I'll be able to zip right along there with my saw. And like I said, I don't really need to mark a line on this either long side. Okay, so just to show you what I have here, and I am, again, not a woodworker. This is what my husband tells me this is. It's the only thing that cuts wood that I'll actually touch because I have a tendency to cut myself off everything. So this is a matrix. We have a piece that adds on. This is actually a drill usually, but this piece is a circular saw piece that just hooks right on. And I really like it. I feel a little bit safer with it than some of the other ones, mostly because it's smaller, which has no logical reasoning, but whatever. So let's see, how can I best show you? I'm just going to go ahead and cut all of these different, I'm going to have a hard time here doing this so you guys can actually see. So I line up. There we go. So we cut off one end. I'm going to cut off the other end. I also need to cut along the edge here. And if you're like me and not super familiar with what you're doing, I lined up the area I need to cut off with, let's see here. There's a gap in my sawhorse right there, or whatever it's called. I lined that up here so that when I'm cutting, I'm not going to hit this. So, and I did that on the other end as well. And I'm just going to cut right along the line. There we go. So I cut off that. So now I'm just going to take off a little edge on this side and also a little edge on the other end. Okay, what I'm going to do next is I just want to sand down the edges, make them look nice before I put on a layer of spray paint. Actually going to do this one first. Just going to use my mouse sander. Okay, just sanded it. I actually sanded the top lightly, can't hurt, right? And I'm also going to do the same for the long piece. And then I'll spray paint. Okay, the one thing you want to make sure to do before you spray paint is to get all the dust off. I actually have some, they're like microfiber gloves. And someone sent them to me for dusting, and I think they're great for dusting off all the stuff from all the wood that I mess with when I sand. Does a pretty good job of getting the dust off. So all I need to do is spray paint them now. Okay, that's the jade, and I'm going to use Island Splash now instead for the other one. Okay, so I'm just applying my spray paint here. Trying to keep it in smooth. Smooth and steady so I don't leave drips everywhere. And I'm going to make sure to get the edges, the sides, but not the back, because the back is actually already finished, so it saves you a little extra bit of work. Probably get my floor a little bit. Okay, these are done. Gonna let them dry, and then I'll come back to it in a few minutes, or not a few minutes, but I've got to add brackets to the back so they can hang up, and I've got to add the clips to the front so you have somewhere to hang your art, and then I can decorate them. To finish these off, I actually stapled, this is paracord on the back, and then I actually put some super glue on top of it as well. So I also I glued my pins on, added my stickers, and I also found some stickers in the scrapbooking section to make it look even prettier. So that's the whole thing, and pretty easy project. And this is the bigger one, which actually is really hard to photograph. But as you can see, I added bee stickers. I actually added a layer of Mod Podge over the whole thing because the stickers on this one weren't sticking very well. So I just covered it with Mod Podge.